Good morning on this very cold Thursday. Yes, we got another snow day, so I'm off. Anywho, yeah, I was sitting there thinking, gosh, I used to like go all out and try to get made up for these at one point, and now I don't care. Um, so to tie in, here's my Roadrunner shirt. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna retake this whole scenario because it might have gone over people's heads and yeah, I lost a couple of subscribers, and it's really not that important because I don't get paid for this. It's kind of like one of those healing out loud type of things. And, I don't think anyone, well, you might end up in one of these situations, but this, the luck is mine. So we're going to elaborate on how this, oh, itchy. Yeah, I got crazy hair because I just woke up a little bit ago and I've got my coffee and yeah. Anyway, morning to you. Disclaimers: I vape. If you don't like it, keep scrolling. I cuss like a sailor. Brassy and abrasive. I'm not sure how brassy and abrasive I was before the relationship. However, I was pretty quick-witted and could make anything into an innuendo. Given that I'm a woman in a man's world, it kind of lightens their perception of the female persuasion, knowing that we can, communicate like men. So anyway, the Coyote Roadrunner. Now, maybe it's just my, abuse trained perception, but it wouldn't surprise me if I was right. Um, Things were very roller coastery in and out toward the end of the relationship. So he wants to take me out on a date after I find out. And I put in his face, "You're a fucking liar. You've been playing games and, looking for a replacement and yada yada yada. Well, I want to take you out." Okay. Well, I let him. And so we go to a concert down in Nashville. Now, on the way up there, I am drinking this little tumbler, which is this really weird color of something. I can't even, it was either turquoise or periwinkle. That he supposedly said, yeah, well, he said that his mother had got for his son. Now, she's kind of like one of those social people. She knows a lot of people, here and there. Gets free shit. So I I looked at it like the colors. I'm like, the kid's favorite color is green. I'm like, all right, yeah, whatever. We're going with it because it's got a lid and it's got a sippy hole. So I put about, I would say maybe a half a cup of gin in this tall 12-ounce tumbler. Fill up the top of it with grapefruit juice and basically just keep my mouth wet, calm my anxiety because every day with him and every minute of every day with this man was anxiety. And so we get up there. I pay for the parking. We park in the parking garage. We're out and about, not realizing that there's a bag policy. So I have all my stuff with me. When we initially go up to check, can we skip Joan Jett? Not real fan, neither of us. And we decide to go shopping instead. So we go ahead and hit the shops. And then we go back to the truck, lock up all our stuff, vapes, cigarettes, all his wallet. The only thing he pulls out is like a card and driver's license. I pull out a card, my driver's license, and our phones, right? Everything is locked in the pickup truck. His. in the parking garage. Now, inside my purse, and of course with my shopping bags, inside my purse is all the keys to my entire existence. In the bottom of my purse. My truck key, my motorcycle key, the fob to the truck, keys to the house, keys to the garage, keys to the shed, keys to the zero turn. Everything is on the, keyring. Keys to my trailers in the backyard because I have locks on them too. Yeah. Anyway, so while we were, waiting a few minutes before we go shopping, when we first get there, on the way there to the concert, he had bought an 8-pack of those Fireball 10-pack. It's a 10-pack, I think they come in. Fireball nips. He drank like 8 of them, and then I had the last 2. Well, I didn't open them. I was organizing my junk, getting the keys at the very bottom of the bag, because I was to understand we could bring the bag in. They're just going to look inside it and see that it was just wallet, earbud, shit like that. Nothing fucking serious, right? So I wasn't really paying attention to what he was doing when he opened mine, and I took my 2 little nips of Fireball, and strangely, I felt extremely dopey in a very short period of time. Now, not to brag, but I could, while we were hanging out at the house, give you an example of my tolerance while I was with him. I would drink anywhere from 4 to 6 beers and then have shots of Fireball in between, right? I was on gin and juice, and a very weak gin and juice at that, on the way to the concert. And all I had was those 2 nips, which I think they equivalent to like 3 drinks. So I would say, at most, all total, 6. Because I think there was maybe, 3 1-ounce shots of the gin. But that was sipped. It wasn't, I didn't even finish it. Never even finished it. Still in the cup holder. Half full. When I got back to the truck after this story. So we go into the concert. Bryan Adams starts singing a song. And I get I start to weep up a little bit, because I am fully aware that I am just a placeholder right now. He is searching for something new. Okay? And I am too attached to the person that I fell in love with as opposed to the person that I was with at the time. It's like, yeah, he was there in physical form, but mentally and emotionally, this man was a complete demon. Okay? And so I start tearing up, and he was like, and he didn't say, oh, and give me a hug or anything. He just looked at me, what the fuck is wrong with you? I said, yeah, I wish you loved me like that. And that's when the argument started. So anyway, it wasn't an argument, because he's not going to show his true ass. Right? He's going to play it off. So while we were leaving there, I said, I think we should just go home. And downtown Nashville that night was a complete circus. And I'm not joking. Some of the characters that were, while we were making our way to the parking garage, we were laughing our asses off because it was fucking hilarious. Anyway. So, good Lord. Anywho. So, we're leaving the venue after the concert's over, and I got tears streaming down my face because it's just like, why am I here? Now, I was being emotionally manipulated to a point where I was basically self isolating prior to even exiting that relationship. So I had this social anxiety that was, you know, it came on kind of gradual. And it got to a point where I didn't even like I didn't like browsing in grocery stores or clothing stores or anything like that. I was very, you know, I didn't like going out alone, right? It was weird. It was strange what this man's abuse had done to my head. Walking across the street, I said to him, I said, I think we need to go. Why do you got to be so fucking negative? Well, when he said that, I immediately called a friend who I knew would probably be downtown that night. Because she was young and she was fun, and that's what she did with her girlfriends every weekend was they hung out down in Nashville. So I called her, and not even certain if she was even on the line, because I needed speakerphone because my ear, the little microphone thing on my phone kind of sucks. I can't hear shit. I need earbud, and I didn't have them on me. Anyway, but let's backtrack. No, I had originally called a buddy of mine from work, and he didn't answer. So I immediately called her. So it was like I was managed to get 2 phone calls in while we were walking across the street. And I was holding the phone, and I touched his arm, and I said, can we please just go home? And he took off running. Well, she had picked up, and she had heard the conversation prior to him taking off running. He was sitting there barking at me, "You're so fucking negative, yada, yada, yada." Now, this girl that I had called used to work with us, so she recognized his voice right away. She knew who I was with. She knew what the relationship was, right? And she hung in there listening. And she goes, it was all muffled, you know. I said, yeah, because I was running. I was in a full sprint behind him. Now, his stupid ass didn't look down when he looked back, because I'm 5'2", right? He's 6'2". He looked over my head. I was literally like 2 paces behind him, sprinting in Ariats. Yeah. 3 blocks. Zigzagging between people. I mean, when he said that to me, it was like instant sobriety when he took off, right? I was like, something about to go down. Well, anyway, when he took off running, it was like that time warp montage. He's trying to steal my life. I'm going to be left down here, scared to death. No way to get into my house. He's got my purse that has my keys, that has my everything in the bottom of it. When I caught up to him, literally he looked over my head. He turned around and looked. I went ahead and reached around to his right side and got his keys, yanked them from his pocket because he had baggy pants on. And kicked it the other way. Now, I got into the garage. I'm crying, hysterical. I finally decide that I'm leaving. And I make it to another parking area. And the police officer who was attending it, I'm hysterical. He's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "I just came out of there. My boyfriend, well, probably not anymore, but he just took off running. I got his keys. I managed to catch up to this stupid ass. Got the keys and came back. He had my whole life locked in here. We never went back to the truck after the concert. He left his cigarettes in there, his wallet, everything. Mm-hmm. Along with my vape sticks, 2 habitual nicotine abusers don't go back and get their nicotine. You cannot. Anyway, so he's like, you need to call 911 and make a report. I was like, I need to call mom and dad, my mom and my sister first, whatever. So I ended up calling my mom. Says, do we need to come and get you? I said, no, I'm going home in the vehicle that brought me here. The only difference is the driver is missing. He took off running. He didn't follow me back. And so I make safe passage out of Nashville. It took me a little bit, zigzagging and finding my way out of there. I was so mad. I was hysterical. And the parking lot attendant hadn't given me a slip that I had left. Kind of thing, right? And I went back over there, got a slip. He's like, you're okay. I said, all right. I said, I can't. I'm hysterical. And he's like, yeah, you look like you're upset. And I was like, yeah, all right. Everything's good here. And he's like, yeah. I said, I'm out. So out of Nashville I go. I make my way over to 65. And I'm probably 5 minutes down the road on 65. And I get a phone call from the Davidson County Police Department, in which I make a police report of non-physical, emotional, psychological abuse, what this man had done. And had them validate my reaction and my reasons for reacting the way I did with the other county, in which that's another story, and how this stupid ass tried to scapegoat me into an incarceration, ended up getting himself put in jail. Yeah, long story. We'll go back to that one if you ask. Give you details. That there might be a video down there that explains that whole crazy fucking scenario. But if not, yeah, we'll bring you all up to speed. So I'm on my way. After I get off the phone with the police department, they validate everything with the county that had arrested us. And even though everything is expunged and I paid for everything to get cleared. Yeah, because, if I save him, I save myself. Nobody quite understands that. Think about it. So, on my way down the road, I call his father and tell him, yeah, he's somewhere downtown Nashville. I don't know where he's at. He might be calling you for a ride in the morning. And his father, blah, 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 he's sleeping. We work. It's Sunday. It's Father's Day. I don't think he's working. Anyway, we work. And then he clicked off, right? I don't think he realized who he was talking to even. Anyway, I call his brother. Brother hangs up on me. Tell him the same thing. Yeah, he might be calling you for a ride. And then again, he might not, because he's too embarrassed at how this fucking went down. So off I go, and then I call the baby mama. And then she texts me back, why are you calling me at 1 o'clock in the morning? Are you okay? And I text back, no. She calls me back. She talks to me 3/4 of the way home. Filling me in. Giving me all the loopholes to all the loops and the holes in this man's story. And then I start to hit a dead zone, and I was like, I'm going to hit a dead zone. I don't want to be rude and hang up on you, whatever. Probably be a good idea if we hang up now. But yes, thank you for keeping me awake. I should be okay till I get into another area. You want me to call you back? And she was like, no, text me when you get to his house, so I know that you're okay. So I text her as soon as I got there. Forgot all about calling the friend. Totally. She had hung up. And she was yelling, she said, into the phone. I talked to her. I called her the next morning. But she was like, I was screaming. Are you okay? Where are you? She goes, I was literally 5 minutes away from you. So, one crisis at a time, yeah. Save your ass first. I could have probably gotten a ride home with her, but I had no keys. Because all my keys were locked in his truck, right? I had no way to get in my house. I had no way to get my bike. I had no way to get in his house, to get my shit out of his house. So long story short, I get to his house. I take a nap. I don't even sleep in the bed. I sleep on the couch. I wake up a few hours later to a text message, a string of middle finger emojis. Fucking cunt. You fucking make me sleep on the street. Well, isn't that what you try to do to me, motherfucker? And sleep, and like literally like make me, like technically no keys to anything I own. My whole wallet, everything, like insurance cards, everything is locked in the truck that he had the keys, well, used to have the keys to, in his pocket. And he ran off. You want to talk about total fucking flight. That was like the worst adrenaline push I'd ever experienced in all my life. I mean, it literally, I went from semi-drunk and, weepy to holy shit sober, fucking scared to death. And I took off like a bullet after him. So I get home, sleep for a little bit, pack up everything that I have at his house, take videos of the entire house to make sure that he can't accuse me of doing anything nefarious, which I wouldn't, and pictures of his stupid truck to make sure that, he didn't go in after the fact and say that I wrecked something, Got all my stuff, called my family for a little bit of remnants that wouldn't fit on the bike, and left and headed to my mother's to have Father's Day breakfast with my stepfather. Well, on the way there, he called me like a half a dozen times, and finally I got on there. I was like, if you're not going to talk, then stop fucking calling. Well, as soon as I said that, he starts dialing again. So I had to stop, get my phone out, block him for the remainder of the trip because it was distracting as fuck, right? I get to the house, I unblock him, and I was like, talk. Are you coming to get me? No. Happy Father's Day. I'm having breakfast with mine. So my sister follows me home after breakfast. I stay here for a little bit. I text him, I said, so do you still need a ride? So what had happened was he ended up calling one of our managers at our office, at our work, who were kind of like all within like, same proximity of each other. And yeah, I've known this guy longer than he has. Anyway, so he calls up the buddy that I had tried to call before I called the girlfriend who was down, partying with her girlfriends in Nashville. He's like, yeah, I saw that she called, but I didn't know, whatever. He didn't bother to call back either. There was no return call from him saying, hey, did you call? Or a text saying, hey, you okay? Because I would have texted him back, no, motherfucker's down in Nashville. You might want to go get him in the morning. Anyway, so he gets a phone call from that manager, and the buddy, the first guy I called, goes down and gets him the next day. So the suspicion that I have is that him and his brother had, or even his stupid mother for that matter, dreamed up this idea to fuck me over by putting me in a situation that it was like, surefire win. Yeah, take off from Nashville and leave me on the street. and have me scrambling to figure out how I was going to get home, kind of thing. Yeah. Roofie my shit, but I think he roofied my shit, and roofies don't stay in your system long enough for them to really detect them. It's kind of like their half-life is like a few hours, right? So he did something because I was too drunk with what I had actually drank. And he was probably pissed off at the fact that I wasn't passed out yet, that I wasn't asleep. He thought that it would, I'd pass out in the amphitheater and he could just disappear and I would be there, without no way home, not knowing what fuck happened, kind of thing. I mean, that's what their original plan was. I don't think he had, intended to have to, go into a full sprint 3 blocks in Nashville to try to get rid of me, and that didn't work either. So that's why I call it the Coyote Roadrunner plan. Yeah. Well, long story short, I got out of there safe and sound. The next morning when he had texted me, basically they had threatened to arrest him because he had filed a stolen vehicle. And when he gave them his name and everything, they showed up and they said, "No, your vehicle is not stolen. You abandoned your girlfriend and she managed to get your keys. And, she took your vehicle home because you abandoned her. Now you can proceed with a stolen vehicle report, but it's kind of hard to report a vehicle stolen when it's sitting in your driveway." And it was. By the time he got back to the vehicle, about 3 hours after I had left Nashville, that's when he noticed it was missing. So when he tried to file this report, the vehicle was already at his house. So when they confirmed with the county that knew us, yeah, they're like, yeah, it's in his driveway. Safe and sound. We've been patrolling the neighborhood all night long, knowing that she was going to be here without him, to make sure nobody showed up while she was there without reason. Basically, the sheriff department had my back because they had a suspicion that it wasn't me when they were following their stupid 12-hour detainment protocol when we got arrested that night. It's kind of hard to claim that it's the one party's fault when, the kid was with me. He didn't want nothing to do with his father. The kid was helping me. I was trying to pack up and get out of there that night that we got arrested. Yeah. And I paid for the attorneys to get everything expunged, because after someone sits in jail for a year and they've lost their car and their house and, likely the kid, because the kid was already, he couldn't, he'd gotten to the point where he hated coming home. He used to get those nervous tics, and, dude would say, yeah, he's got those tics again. The tics ain't because of the mom. The tics are because of you. Yeah. So there's a lot more going on in this little child's mind than this fucker wanted to own up to. And hence the reason why I was so concerned and I stuck around. But the point is that he had done everything he could within the narcissistic playbook. The abuse escalated, the tactics of, trying to destroy me escalated, and, his Coyote Roadrunner technique or strategy backfired. So, yeah, beep, beep. Yeah, brooding resentment when you're sitting in jail after you lost your entire life, and you're now put on the Lautenberg Amendment list for the military, which means you cannot carry a weapon, especially if you get a felony, that kind of thing. And yeah, domestic charges, they're not easy to get expunged and get rid of unless both parties involved are agreeing that it was just, couple scuffle. Now, this man is an abusive piece of shit. And I mentioned, trolling the new supply. The new supply now, if that picture she posted on her vacation is recent and it's not one of those old ones, because she likes to do that, put old photos in. Yeah. If if that's a recent picture, she looks sick. And I'm worried about her. And that's one of the things that me and the baby mama had always, discussed when she's like, she goes, now I'm scared to death because now he's got another one and God knows what's going to happen to her. Well, if that picture is recent, yeah, he's gotten to her. And she looks sick. And it's truly sad because you can't tell him anything. She's not going to listen to you. You find out who it is, and thank God. I thank God she's not one of the ones that's stalking me after all the bullshit that she's heard. God, I mean, if she paid attention and if he has mentioned every single interaction that he's had, that that it starts to, it's like, what is wrong with you, dude? Yeah. So, of course, I was a people pleaser and I thought I could fix him. Yeah, and I finally, realized that there's no fixing this motherfucker. He is going to destroy me long before he even acknowledges or takes any kind of accountability that he is a pure spawn of Satan. So, anyway, I'm at 32 minutes. I gotta go. Peace.